The door rattled like a gunshot in the pre-dawn silence, yanking me from a dreamless sleep into a heart-pounding haze. My eyes snapped open, the digital clock glowing 5:03 a.m. in angry red digits. Who the hell knocks at this hour? I stumbled out of bed, bare feet slapping against the cold hardwood floor, my pulse thundering in my ears. Elena stirred beside me, murmuring something incoherent, but I was already halfway down the stairs, adrenaline flooding my veins like ice water. Through the peephole I saw Tom, my neighbor from across the street. His face pale and slick with sweat under the porch light, eyes darting like a cornered animal. I flung the door open, the chill October air biting into my skin through my thin t-shirt. "Alex, don't go to work today," he hissed, his voice a ragged whisper that carried the weight of a scream. "Just trust me. Stay home. Please." "What the fuck, Tom?" I snapped, my voice louder than intended, fury bubbling up from the shock. "It's 5 in the morning. You scared the shit out of me. What's this about?" He glanced over his shoulder at the dark, empty street, where the street lamps cast long, eerie shadows from the maple trees. His breath came in short bursts, fogging the air. "I can't explain now. But if you go, it'll be bad. Real bad. Just call in sick. Trust me, Alex. We've been neighbors for years. I'm not screwing with you." His eyes locked onto mine, pleading, desperate. Tom was always the quiet type. Mid-40s, divorced, worked some remote IT job that kept him holed up in his house. We'd shared beers over backyard barbecues, swapped stories about Elena's garden and his failed attempts at growing tomatoes. He wasn't a prankster. This wasn't a joke. But trust. In that moment, with sleep still clouding my brain and irritation flaring hot in my chest, trust felt like a sucker punch. "Fine," I muttered, slamming the door harder than necessary, the wood vibrating in the frame. I leaned against it, heart racing, a mix of anger and unease churning in my gut. What the hell was that? Part of me wanted to chase after him, demand answers, shake him until the truth spilled out. But the house was silent again, Elena probably back asleep upstairs. I trudged to the kitchen, flicked on the coffee maker, the machine's gurgle filling the void. My mind raced. Denial first, brushing it off as Tom having a breakdown, maybe off his meds. But underneath, a seed of doubt sprouted. What if he knew something? About work? About Elena? I poured a mug, the steam rising like ghosts, and stared out the window at Tom's house. His lights were on now, curtains drawn tight. The neighborhood was still asleep, houses hunkered down under a blanket of fog. I sipped the bitter brew, resentment building. Who was he to dictate my day? I had a big presentation at noon, pitching a new marketing strategy to the board. If I nailed it, promotion. If not, well, I'd been grinding for years at that soul-sucking ad firm, clawing my way up while Elena supported me through her teaching job. We were finally stable, talking about kids. No way was I letting some cryptic warning derail that. But as the sky lightened to a bruised gray, doubt crept in like the dawn. I paced the living room, the carpet muffling my steps, replaying Tom's words. "It'll be bad." Bad how? Accident. Layoffs. My phone buzzed on the counter. 6:15 a.m., time to get ready. Elena's alarm would go off soon. I imagined her sleepy smile, the way she'd kiss my cheek and wish me luck. We'd been married 8 years, high school sweethearts turned suburban survivors. Lately though, things felt off, her late nights grading papers, distracted texts, a new perfume I didn't recognize. I shook it off. Paranoia from Tom's bullshit. By 7 a.m. I was dressed, crisp shirt, tie knotted tight like a noose, but I couldn't shake the unease. My reflection in the mirror looked haggard, eyes shadowed. What if I went and nothing happened? I'd look like a fool for even considering it. But what if? I grabbed my phone, dialed the office. "Hey Sarah, it's Alex. Yeah, not feeling great, stomach bug. I'll work from home if needed." Her sympathy felt hollow, but it was done. I was staying. Elena emerged from the bedroom, hair tousled, robe cinched around her waist. "Morning, babe. You're still here." Her voice was light, but her eyes flicked to the clock, a micro-expression of surprise? Annoyance. Yeah, called in sick. Not feeling up to it. I watched her closely, searching for cracks. She poured coffee, her back to me. Oh, what's wrong? The question felt rote, like she was reading from a script. Just off. Tom knocked early. Some weird warning about not going to work. I dropped it casually, gauging her reaction. She froze, mug halfway to her lips. Tom. What did he say? Her tone sharpened, an edge I'd rarely heard. Just don't go, trust me. Creepy as hell. I laughed it off, but my heart thudded. She set the mug down, fingers trembling slightly. Probably nothing. He's always been odd since his divorce. She kissed my forehead, her lips cool. Rest up. I have to head to school, parent-teacher conferences today. Conferences. You didn't mention that. My voice came out flatter than intended. Didn't I? Must have slipped my mind. She grabbed her bag, avoiding my gaze. Love you. See you tonight. The door clicked shut behind her, leaving me in silence thick as fog. Slipped her mind. Elena was meticulous. Calendars, lists, everything planned. Resentment simmered, mixing with a growing suspicion. I wandered the house, the walls closing in, every creak amplified. By 8 a.m. I was at my desk in the home office, laptop open, but work was impossible. Instead I scrolled emails, nothing unusual. Checked news, nothing about the firm. My mind wandered to fantasies. What if Tom knew about an affair? Elena and someone at school. No, ridiculous. But the seed grew, tendrils of jealousy wrapping around my thoughts. I stepped outside, the air crisp, leaves crunching underfoot. Tom's car was gone, where'd he go? I crossed the street, knocked on his door. No answer. Back home I peered through blinds, watching neighbors stir. Mrs. Patel walking her dog, kids biking to school. Normalcy mocked me. By 9 a.m., humiliation crept in. I'd let a vague warning upend my day. What kind of man was I? Weak, paranoid. I imagined the board meeting without me. My rival Josh stepping in, stealing the glory. Anger flared at Tom, at myself. 10 a.m. A text from Elena. How you feeling? Miss you. Heart emoji. Should have warmed me, but it felt performative. I replied curtly. Better. You. No response. Obsession took hold. I rifled through her drawer, finding nothing but receipts, old photos. Guilt hit like a wave. What was I doing? This wasn't me. 11 a.m. The house felt like a pressure cooker, tension building with each tick of the clock. I paced, sweat beading on my forehead despite the chill. Subtle hints nagged. Elena's new gym routine, whispered phone calls. Tom's urgency. What connected them? Neighbors talked. Had he seen something? Noon approached, the sun piercing the clouds, casting harsh light through the windows. My phone buzzed, a news alert. Breaking. Ad firm executive arrested for embezzlement. My blood ran cold. Clicked, heart slamming. It was my firm. My boss, Richard, in cuffs, but the article mentioned ongoing investigation into multiple employees. Then a photo. Elena, arm linked with Richard, at a charity event last month. The caption. Whistleblower sources claim insider involvement. The pieces crashed together. Elena's late nights. Richard's odd praise for my work. Tom's warning, he must have known. But how? Betrayal hit like a sledgehammer. Heartbreak, fury, humiliation exploding in my chest. She was sleeping with my boss. Framing me. I staggered to the bathroom, vomited into the sink, the acrid taste mirroring the bile in my soul. Denial screamed. No coincidence. But deep down I knew. I grabbed my keys, rage propelling me. Tom's house. Answers. The street blurred as I stormed across, leaves swirling in my wake like omens. My fists pounded on Tom's door, the wood splintering slightly under the force. Tom! Open up! My voice cracked, raw with fury. No answer. I tried the knob, locked. Around back, the gate creaked open, overgrown grass brushing my legs. The back door was ajar. I pushed in, the kitchen dim, smelling of stale coffee and something metallic. "Tom!" called, voice echoing. The house was a mirror of mine. Cluttered counters, faded photos on walls. But silence pressed in, heavy. Stairs, a thump. I ascended, steps creaking, heart in my throat. Fear mingled with anger. What if this was a trap? But resentment drove me. He'd known, warned me half-assed, left me to unravel. The bedroom door was cracked. I shoved it open. Tom sat on the bed, head in hands, a bottle of whiskey half empty on the nightstand. He looked up, eyes bloodshot, face etched with guilt. "Alex, I didn't think you'd come. You knew," I snarled, advancing, hands clenched. "About Elena and Richard. The embezzlement. You fucking knew and gave me some cryptic bullshit." He flinched, standing unsteadily. "Sit down, please. It's not what you think." "Bullshit." I grabbed his collar, shoving him against the wall. The impact rattled a framed photo. Tom and a woman, happier times. His ex. "Tell me everything or I swear." Okay. He raised hands in surrender, voice trembling. I overheard them. "Last week in your backyard. Elena and Richard. They thought no one was home. She was crying, saying she couldn't go through with it. He pressured her. Said if she didn't help frame you, he'd expose the affair, ruin her career." "Frame me." The words punched the air from my lungs. I released him, staggering back. Heartbreak deepened, layered with shock. "Elena, my Elena, involved? Why me? What did I do?" Tom slumped onto the bed, rubbing his temples. "You're up for promotion. Richard wants Josh in, his nephew. They cooked the books, pinned it on you. Elena. She got pulled in months ago. The affair started innocently, she said. Lonely, you working late. But it spiraled. I sank into a chair, the fabric rough against my skin. Obsession flared. Visions of them together, her laughter for him, not me. Humiliation burned. The dutiful husband, blind. And you? How do you fit? He averted his eyes, guilt plain. I've had feelings for Elena. For years. Watched from afar. When I heard, I confronted her yesterday. She begged me not to tell you. Said she'd end it, make it right. But I couldn't let you walk into that trap today. The board meeting was when they dropped the evidence. Cold resolve settled in, pushing aside the storm. Feelings for my wife. The betrayal multiplied, Tom, the friend, harboring secrets. But he'd warned me, saved me. Morally gray, all of it. Why not tell me straight? Fear, he admitted, voice breaking. If I spilled, she'd hate me. And you'd hate her. I thought if you stayed home, maybe it'd blow over without confrontation. Naive fool. Anger surged again, but now directed inward. My denial had blinded me to the signs. Her distance, his awkward glances at barbecues. I stood pacing, mind racing with plans. Call the police. Confront Elena. But revenge whispered. Something sharper, more personal. Evidence, I said, voice steady despite the turmoil. You have proof. Tom nodded, pulling a USB from his pocket. Recorded the conversation. Backed up emails I hacked from Richard's account. MIT, remember? It's all here. Hack. Another layer. Tom's moral compass bent for love. I took the drive, fingers brushing his. A silent pact forming. Doubt flickered. Was this manipulation? His obsession driving him to sabotage. But the pain in his eyes felt real. Back home, the house felt alien. Sunlight slanting through windows like accusatory fingers. I plugged in the USB, headphones on, the audio crackling to life. Elena's voice tearful. I can't do this to Alex. He's innocent. Richard's smooth baritone. You will, or we both go down. Think of us, our future. Kisses, murmurs. My stomach twisted, resentment boiling into obsession. How long? How many lies? I forwarded copies to my email, then deleted traces. Planning began, quiet, strategic. No rash moves. I'd expose them, but on my terms. Moral conflict gnawed. Destroying Elena would shatter me too. We had history, prom nights, vows, dreams. But betrayal demanded justice. Afternoon dragged, tension coiling like a spring. I cooked dinner mechanically, chopping vegetables with forceful slices, imagining faces under the knife. Fear crept in. What if they knew I knew? Paranoia had me checking locks, peering out windows. Elena arrived at 6 p.m., keys jingling, smile pasted on. Hey, feeling better? She hugged me, perfume cloying, his scent. Yeah, I lied, suppressing rage. Quiet day. How were conferences? Fine. Tiring. Her eyes darted, avoiding mine. Subtle hints. A new necklace, gold chain, gift from him? Dinner was torture. Small talk laced with unspoken accusations. Heard about the firm on news, I said casually, watching her fork pause. Oh, what happened? Her voice steady but knuckles white. Arrest. Embezzlement. Leaned in. Know anything. She laughed, forced. Me. Oh. Scary though. Liar. Suppressed rage simmered. I wanted to scream, shatter plates. Instead I smiled. Yeah. Scary. That night in bed, her back to me, I lay awake, fantasies swirling. Confronting Richard, fists flying. Elena begging forgiveness. But cold resolve won. Revenge would be precise, poetic. Next morning I went to work, but detoured to a coffee shop, laptop open. Using Tom's drive, I anonymously tipped the FBI. Altered timestamps to implicate Richard fully, Elena as accessory. Doubt hit. Was this justice or vengeance? Morally gray, yes, but they started it. Weeks blurred, slow burn suspense. Elena grew distant, jumpy. Tom avoided me, guilt-ridden. I feigned normalcy, inner turmoil raging. Heartbreak at lost love, obsession with payback. Payoff came suddenly. News alert. Richard arrested again, deeper charges. Elena implicated. Affair exposed. Framing confessed in intercepted texts I'd leaked. Police at our door that noon. Her face ashen as cuffs clicked. She turned to me, eyes wide. Alex. Did you? I met her gaze, cold. Trust me. I echoed Tom's words, a twist of irony. But as they led her away, guilt crashed. Had I destroyed us both? Later, Tom confessed. He'd planted extra evidence. His obsession pushing him to eliminate rivals. The twist. My ally was the true manipulator, loving Elena enough to betray everyone. Revenge tasted bitter, consequences echoing. I stood alone, house empty, wondering if justice was worth the void. But in the mirror my eyes held resolve. No regrets. Or so I told myself.